Hey everyone, it's Mark from Scuttlebutt Farm. Just another update. You may remember from last year the sweet potatoes that I grew. I had them in the dark and I had them in the garage in a bucket, but they were already sprouting anyway, and so they weren't going to last much longer, so I pulled them out and I just dumped them here because I have all this area that you may know from previously. Oh wow. Oh, cool. This area was farmed with tomatoes. The previous owner used to farm here, and he used all the chemicals and stuff like that. So this is all really sandy, I like to say spent soil, you know, that's just been beaten down by chemicals year after year. And when I dig it, all I get is dry dirt with no biological activity in it. And if you remember, I planted my pumpkin seeds just, I don't know, July 4th. Today is the 10th. So, wow. I hadn't been out here to check on them. I brought some water out once or twice, and we had a couple good rains that I was really happy to see. But I didn't remember that I planted that many seeds in there. That's a heck of a lot of pumpkin seeds. So some of those are probably going to have to go. I don't know. I'll move them around over here and see where I can put them, but there's no way that many pumpkin plants are going to be able to grow that close together. Probably have to thin them out some. Here's two in this little one. Now in this one, inside the tire, I put in good soil, and I put in, I gave them the best chance I could. Over here, all I did was dig a hole and put some more dirt back in it and put some wood chips on it. But you can see, in almost every instance, at least one of the seeds is sprouting up in there. And so one of the ways you can fix bad soil is to grow in it. You know, I mean, even if you don't get what you want, or even if you're growing something that you can't eat or you don't really care for, at least growing something will help keep your soil improving. And it's all about improvement, as long as you're not, you know, putting a bunch of pesticides and stuff on your vegetables and killing. You have to remember that there's a whole ecology in the soil, and there's bacteria, there's fungus, there's insects, there's all kinds of good and bad stuff in your soil. And when you use those pesticides and stuff, a lot of times you're killing everything, you know. And you think that, oh well, that would be easier to start from a blank slate, but in fact I think it's probably more difficult, because you want to get to where you have life in your soil, and that life will help your plants grow, because plants need fungus. They need, you know, mycorrhizal fungi in particular, in order to get the minerals and nutrients that they need. I didn't get anything on that pile. There's a few up here that didn't really do too well. But they may still. There's a small pumpkin and a small pumpkin. So knowing that in the next couple days I'm going to have some more rain, I'm going to try to thin some of these out before that rain gets here. And I'll just probably put them out here kind of randomly, or I don't know what I'm going to do. But it looks like I'll have plenty of pumpkins. The question now remains to be seen is, will the pumpkins actually be ready in time for Halloween? And that's the theory was, if I plant them on July 4th, that's about 90 days, 90 to 100 days, about what a pumpkin needs. So hopefully, all things considered, I might have a whole buttload of pumpkins come Halloween. So we'll see how that works out. And as far as the sweet potatoes, well, maybe they'll rot right here, or maybe they'll just kind of start growing there. I don't know. Seems like they probably have to get lower into the soil in order to grow. Maybe I'll throw some soil on top of them to give them a half a chance. But it's a little late in the season to be growing sweet potatoes. That's okay, because if they make it over the winter, they can always come up next year. And sweet potatoes actually, I planted like one plant, and maybe two or three plants, but they produce a lot of sweet potatoes for very little plant. So one of my favorites to grow. Aside from that, we're having a pretty good day. I'll cruise over here just for a moment so that I can hear myself talk a little longer. Over here's a technique, I don't know if I've mentioned this, where you can put down, this is an old pool cover, and basically what I'm doing is the sun's burning through that pool cover. It's literally frying all the weeds and stuff underneath here so that I can grow in here next year. Next year, or after this particular cycle, I may have to move that up here. I have a lot of poison ivy, especially in that section, which is why I did that first. But I do have some plants growing up here pretty good, some partridge peas. This is usually where my cilantro is growing crazy, but it ain't cilantro time of the year. It's harvesting seeds of cilantro or coriander this time of year. So that's what all this dry brush is, the little seeds here. All these seeds are going all over. I'm gonna have cilantro coming out my, well anyway, out of the ground, and hopefully it'll be able to overtake some of the Virginia creeper, some of the poison ivy, and some of the other weeds. I like to put competitive things in and make them outcompete other things. Don't know what this one is. This is, there's a lot of it though. So I'm kind of surprised. I didn't notice that before, so I'll keep an eye on that. That's some more cilantro, and I also have some flowers mixed in here. Let me cruise on over here. I wanted to show you, this was the orange sunflower that I was so impressed with last during one of my previous videos, and it's kind of changing to a lighter color yellow, but right next to it, pow, is another orange sunflower. So it looks like these ones come out darker orange and then just lighten as the sun works with them. They're just a gorgeous plant. I really got to save some seeds. Hopefully I'm successful with that this year, because I have so many sunflowers and I just seem to like them so much. And then I have some melons up here. Look at those melons growing on the hill. Choo, choo, choo. We can zoom in just a little bit. Da, da, da. Always love good melons. Got more sunflowers over there, some tomatoes over there, and a few other things. But so even though I didn't really plant much this year, seems like this year is going to be a pretty good year for harvesting some things. Okay, so I hope that you got some stuff growing, and I'd love to hear about what you're growing and why you're growing that. And oh, I got muscadine still growing over there, and I let the ducks out to play, so that's always fun. I got a lot of eggs this year, and I'm gonna have a lot more because I got some young hens that will be laying. So I don't know. It's very nice to be here on Scuttlebutt Farm, and maybe someday I'll see you out here. So if so, great. I can't wait for it. And if not, at least you can have a visit with me every now and then when I feel like yakking. All right. Well, that's Mark from Scuttlebutt Farm. Y'all have a good one. Later.